work, but it's okay. Thank you guys for being on time and joining me today for my inaugural Wealth and Wines Live. We don't know what this will become depending on the feedback you guys give me, and clearly I'm going to play around with StreamYard some. But I do have some great real estate information for you today and some great wine information. So if you have a glass, go ahead and raise your glass. So folks wanted to know, why did I come up with this wealth and wine theme? It is almost October, and traditionally I would have had a couple happy hours for my clients, for my referrers, and for my friends at this point in the year. And due to the current situation, I haven't been able to do that. So cheers. We're going to go ahead and talk a little bit about what I've been doing with wine. So you see this bottle here? I'll move it a little close. This is Deloach Pinot Noir, Russian River Valley. And this is the wine that I have in my glass right now. What do you have in your glass? If you're having a cocktail, drop it in the chat. Let me know what you might be sipping on. So what has happened since the current situation is I have become a wine ambassador. What is a wine ambassador? A wine ambassador is someone who represents a brand of wines, and I'm able to sell them directly to my clients. So what I'm going to be doing is giving you a link to the website. It's called wealthandwines.com, and you will be able to find fine wine. This brand is only found in restaurants. Variety of prices, variety of, varietals, reds, whites, rosés, sweet wines, dessert wines, whatever you like. So I'll tell you a little bit more about an event that I will be co-hosting in about a week or so, and I'd love for you guys to join in if you can. So take a look at that when I get to that screen. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to share my screen with you. But I am now a wine ambassador, and what I have always loved, which is wine, now becomes another business for me. So I look forward to you trying some of the wines that we offer. I will be featuring them like today, Deloach Pinot Noir. And if you have questions about any of the possible wines that you typically drink or you might want to explore, hit me up, let me know. Okay? So we will move into real estate right now. I am going to try one more time to share my screen and see if you guys are able to see it on regular old Facebook. Okay, here we are. Hey, Aunt Daph, thanks for checking in and seeing me. I have such supportive family. Let's see whether or not. Nope. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it this time, but I did have a really nice PowerPoint to share with you guys. So one of the things I want to do is update you on the market here in the Baltimore metropolitan area. So as many of you know, I do sell most of the homes in Baltimore County and Baltimore City. So you may have seen the statistics. I tend to post them on all of my social media, but I'm going to go over it with you here. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. So our statistics we usually share is for the previous month. So I'm going to let you know what was going on in August of 2020. So in Baltimore County, there are about 13 homes on the market. The average list price was $483,000. There were actually 1,020 homes sold. Yes, in the middle of a pandemic, we sold 1,020 homes. And the average sale price was around $340,000. And that's what it looked like in Baltimore County. Now, in Baltimore City, there were about 2,100 homes on the market. The average list price there was $262,000. There were about 845 homes that were sold in the city, and the average sold price was $211,000. So we have been in what I consider still a pretty robust real estate environment here in the Baltimore area, and we have been blessed. You see a lot of information on the news about individuals who are unemployed. and they've been hit hard. Here we have a number of major employers: Social Security Administration, we have T. Rowe Price, Care First, lots of really big employers. The state of Maryland is a huge employer. And lots of people, as you know, they're working from home. They've really been able to pivot. And as a result of that, we now have a pretty stable employment climate here in the Baltimore metropolitan area. So, in addition to employment being relatively stable here, the interest rates are crazy low. So, who can tell me what the interest rates are running here in the Baltimore metropolitan area? Just drop it in the chat. What have you been seeing or hearing about interest rates? Let me know. Let me see. Let me see who's giving us some good numbers on the interest rates. What do you think the interest rates have been going, Cynthia? I see you out there. Thanks so much for joining me. What have you been hearing about interest rates? 5%, 4%. I have actually had clients buying homes 3% or less. I know homeowners who've refinanced. Include this one right here. And the interest rates are crazy, way below 2%. So, yep, Steph, I see you said 3%. Jake said they low as hell. And there are lots of folks who are getting in position right now in the midst of what's going on to save money if they already own a home and to buy a home where the payments are super affordable compared to renting. So, the reason that I share those market statistics is so that you can understand we are selling houses here in Baltimore. Homes are being very competitive, multiple offers. And anybody can write in the chat, why do you think we're getting multiple offers on homes in our market today? Are we in a seller's market or a buyer's market? Yep, we are in a seller's market. And what makes a market a seller's market? It's a seller's market when we have about 1 to 2 months of inventory and we have way more buyers than homes that are available to sell. So, when those homes hit the market and they are in great condition or they are priced right, there is going to be a flood of buyers trying to purchase those homes. Why? Because they still have pretty stable employment, and two, the interest rates are great. So we are in a seller's market. So if you're thinking about selling, let's have a conversation. If you're thinking about buying, you want to work with an agent who knows how to strategically position your offer to be accepted. And I've been able to do that for my clients. So absolutely, we are in a seller's market. So the next thing I really wanted to talk to you guys about is the topic for tonight. I'm sure you've seen that TV show where a family has totally outgrown their space, but one of the partners just doesn't seem to want to leave, so they decide to renovate. If the renovations aren't fixing the issue, only then do they move. I'm exhausted just thinking about it, to be honest. And let's face it, reality TV isn't always real. Living in a construction zone while shopping for a new house that you might buy, no way for most people. That's why I recommend doing one or the other. So you're either going to like the house that you have or you're going to list it. And those of you who watch HGTV like me all the time, you know the show. And in 30 minutes, it's over. But it doesn't happen that way in real life. Let's break it down. A lot of times people get really frustrated with their space. You know what's been happening. Many of us have been living in tight quarters for the last 7 months. We never knew about all the nooks and crannies of our home until we had to work at home, teach our children at home, bring our college students back home, maybe even bring some adult children who, based on what was going on in the economy, weren't able to stay in the homes that they were in. So the homes that we were very comfortable with got a little bit uncomfortable, or we realized it wasn't really giving us the highest utility. That's kind of what we call it in real estate. It wasn't giving us the highest use for the home that we had. So Some folks, they've had another baby during this time. Some have fallen out of love with the condo that they had. And they started dreaming of retiring into some smaller spaces, maybe near the beach. So, whatever the reason is, it's really important to first identify why you're considering a move and then go from there. So, here are 5 things that I'd like you to consider and that you do want to consider as you begin to decide if you want to like it or if you want to list it. Okay. So I really, really wish that I could show you guys. So hopefully you have your phone and you can jot these 5 down, or you can um, get a piece of paper. And this might not be for you. This might be for a friend or a family member. So stay close as we talk about 5 things to consider when it comes to liking it or listing it. Okay. So the first piece that you want to think about is, can it be fixed easily? Now, if you want to update a kitchen, if you want to swap out some fixtures, if you want to paint cabinets, if you want to buy new appliances, that's a pretty easy fix. But if you want a bigger kitchen, we're probably going to have to move because the space is the space. So during this time, a lot of folks have made some really nice upgrades to the current home they had. So in their minds, they figured, yep, this can easily be fixed. So the first thing you want to think about is, can it be easily fixed? And if it could be easily fixed, drop it in the chat. What would you be doing? Would you be liking it or would you be listing it? Hey, Cynthia. I know there's some of you who might be considering this right now, so just drop it in the chat. If this was a simple fix, would you either be liking your home or would you be listing your home? Let me know what your thoughts are. All right. So as you take a time to write that down, number 2, in terms of what you want to think about is, can you deal with contractors? And I want to just back up for a minute. A lot of my clients will ask me, hey, Gersha, do you know a bathroom contractor or a kitchen contractor? One of the busiest professionals during this period of time that we have been home are contractors. They have been crazy busy because lots of folks have wanted to make improvements in their home. So, hiring an interior designer or a general contractor to manage your project will help, but renovations do require you to work with multiple companies and contractors on a daily basis. So, it is a project. And if you are not a project manager, this might not be the route that you want to take. You'll be dependent on their timeline. A lot of times they have a lot of different projects that they're working at the same time. You'll be dependent on their expertise and their quality of work. Here in the Baltimore area, we have a Facebook page, and many folks will put contractors on there. I always refer clients, hey, look over there, see what people are seeing, what people are saying about the contractors they've worked with. The quality of their work is not always about the price. It's going to be, are they reliable? Did they show up when they said they're going to show up? Did they bring subcontractors who may not have done the best job? So really, you want to find out from other homeowners, did they have a good experience with a contractor? If you don't want people coming in and out of your home for weeks on end, it may not be time to move into, it may be time really to move into more of a turnkey home. So right now, with all of the goings on in many of our homes, you really have to think, is this a good time for me to add another person or 2 or 3 to come in and do work? So the second point you want to consider is, can you deal with the contractors? So let me see what you guys are saying about, are you gonna, so Stephanie said, I'm listing it. Jake, you said you're loving it. So you are pretty patient with the contractors. And sounds like, Stephanie, renovations, as you said, they are not for you. You will be one who would be looking to list it. I get it. It's not for everybody. So number 3, can you live in a mess for a while? You really want to consider that. So renovations can be dusty. And when I say dusty, if you've done this before, it is a really fine dust. And years ago, we had a new home, lived in it for about 4 years, and we decided to finish the basement. When we finished that basement, that project was super dusty. And you talk about 6 months after the basement was done, you are still finding fine dust on a lot of your furniture and a lot of crevices. So, can you live with a mess for a while and the residual of that mess? So, we're going to be shrinking into an already hard to navigate environment. So, your home is your home. Now you have equipment, people, materials piled up. If you don't have a garage to store it in, you have seen them. People have put pods in front of their homes so they can put the materials in there. The contractors, they bring their own kind of like a pod. They may put it on your lawn, which means they're killing your grass too while the project is going on. So tools are everywhere, equipment is everywhere, and people, they'll be everywhere. So I haven't even thrown in this whole COVID thing, right? So you have had contractors probably come to your home, whether it was the Comcast man, the BGE person, lots of different people may have already come into your home. They're masked up. You realize, oh my gosh, I have to go get my mask. If you have children, they need their mask. So it is quite an undertaking to work with the mess for a while. So if this isn't the thing for you, turnkey, and I think I saw somebody mention that already, turnkey may be more appealing to you. So this renovation will get in the way of school. Many folks just, kids just started school a few weeks ago. Projects from the summer might still be going on. And I know it makes it a super duper challenge right now when you have students in this corner and students in another corner. So this is something you want to consider. Can you live in a mess for a while? Number 4, can you tolerate a move? You may dread the thought of having to pack up your entire home. I just worked with a client. She lived in her home for 20, well, they was a couple. They lived in her home for 20 years. Do you know how much stuff you can accumulate in 20 years? A lot of stuff. So, can you tolerate that move? Packing up your entire home while you're paying a moving company thousands of dollars to pack up your heirloom armoire while they try to get it out the front door. If you have a piano, another big item, what's another big item a lot of folks have that is really difficult to move? We have pianos, we have china cabinets. The home that I bought, the seller couldn't get the china cabinet out. It was huge. And she had to get another company who could take it apart and had enough manpower to literally move that out of the house. So there's another item that begins with the letter P. A lot of people have it. That's right. That's right, Lee. Pool tables. They are one of the hardest items to move. And I've worked with sellers who say to me, well, hey, Gersha, I'd like to sell the pool table with the house. Well, you're making a pretty big assumption that the buyers who buy your home want that pool table. So if they don't want the pool table, you may still have to move it out. Hot tubs. I've sold hot tubs, properties that have the hot tub in it. There are a couple of considerations with a hot tub. Does it work? Are you going to give them a warranty? Will they do an inspection on a hot tub? So there's a lot to consider with those really big items if you want to move. And I see Stephanie said, I can move. You got a great system. All righty then. So people who know the movers to use, how to purge, how to pack, how to find reliable help, there's been a lot of folks who've done some real big purging and scaling these last 7 months. So they're probably ready to go. But if you haven't looked at what you've accumulated over the last 5, 10, 15 years that you've lived in your home, that is something you absolutely want to consider. Number 4, can you tolerate a move? Moving is up there with the top 5 stressors in life. It is. It is a huge undertaking. And there's some emotion to go with that. Do you keep it? Do you let it go? It reminds you of a special time in your life. Are you just going to move it from house to house? Or should you just take a picture? So, if this sounds unbearable to you, it may be cause for you to stay. Figure out, what can I do to stay in this house? And number 5, do you love your location? If the view, the zoning, the corner lot that you have, or the amazing neighbors that you've had are the reasons why you've moved to your current house to begin with, then maybe moving isn't the answer for you. In this case, it could be better for you to renovate the inside of your home to match the amazing benefits of the outside. Make sense? So, based on those 5 pieces that I gave you that you need to think about, can it be fixed easily? Number 2, can you deal with the contractors? Number 3, can you live in a mess for a while? Number 4, can you tolerate a move? And number 5, do you love your location? Where do you fall? Write it in the chat. Let me see what you're thinking about. If you're going to live there, are you going to actually like where you are, or are you going to list it? Think about your scenario. And I'm sure you think about it if you watch the TV show all the time. Is this something you would do? So, no matter what you decide, it's important to have a good realtor to help you understand how renovations will affect your home's value and how you decide if you're better off packing up and moving to a new space. So, that's where we can help. Definitely reach out, schedule what I call a house call so we can put together the strategies and understand what the expectations will be if you decide to change where you live right now and list it. Okay. And if you decide to just stay where you are and like it, we can help you through that process as well. So reach out to me. You can leave a message right here on our business Facebook page. If that's where you joined this, you can leave it on YouTube. You can also reach out directly to me at my telephone number, and all of this would have been on my amazing PowerPoint I had presented for you. But I am at 443-744-0206. You can find me on Instagram at Gersha Porter. You can find me on LinkedIn at Gersha Porter, and you can also find me on YouTube. So if you're thinking about any of these, definitely, if any of the 5 points that we talked about today is going to move you and push you in either direction, definitely reach out to us. And the last thing that I wanted to just kind of share with you on the wine tip is if you're interested in trying out some different wines, I will be hosting a virtual wine tasting on October the 10th. It's a Friday night at 7 o'clock. I'm going to put it in the chat and I'm going to post it on my Facebook page. And we would love for you to join us. You purchase 3 bottles of wine, which is called a flight of wine, and you taste along with us while we educate you about the wine. So look out for that as well. And I hope, based on some feedback that I'll get today, to bring you some more important wealth information about how you can continue to build wealth through real estate. We have a couple upcoming projects coming that's going to put more and more buyers in a position to buy. So definitely stay tuned. Always check back. I'm going to answer some of the questions in the comment. Feel free to post questions that you might have about your specific property if you're thinking about doing some improvements because that's your level that you can tolerate, or if you're thinking about, well, what might it mean if I thought about moving in this environment? Okay, so definitely reach out to us. Look for the post that I'll put on my Facebook page. I may even give you guys some of these points that I did earlier today since I wasn't able to share them live. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next episode of Wealth and Wines. Thanks so much for your patience earlier, too. Hey, Miss Pitt, so good to see you. And definitely share this video with your friends and your family members if you feel that this information was valuable. Have a good night. Take care. Bye-bye.